today we're going to be making hamburger buns. A few of you reached out to us wanting to know how to make these little treats in our tikka masala burger, so let's get into it. So in a bowl, I have 230 grams of bread flour followed by 90 grams of whole wheat flour. We're going to add some salt, almost 6 grams, but 5.8 to be exact. Some active dry yeast, 2.6 grams, and just going to give that a little dry mix just to make sure things are slightly mixed, to which we will add 290 grams of water. And I'm just going to mix this through. I'm not trying to work the dough to build structure or anything. This is just a mix. We're just hydrating the flour, making sure everything comes together, becomes uniform, slightly homogeneous, and that's really it. And this is going to be a lengthy bread processing, just to forewarn you. I like to make sure I get some of the bits off of the bowl. It's good stuff. Don't leave it stranded. So I'm just gonna mess around with that a couple more times and pat it like a doofus. There we go. And then I like to wet my fingers around the bowl, because if you've ever put cling film onto steel that isn't dampened, it doesn't work. But this does. See how it clings to it? And we're just going to leave that at room temperature for about 2 hours. And then after 2 hours, get a casserole pan. You could use whatever. Put 12 grams or 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. And we're basically dumping this dough. You can kind of see it's changed a little bit. Right on top of the oil, as much as you can, right on top of the oil. And from here, we're going to put a bag around it to capture all the moisture. And we're going to leave it for about 45 minutes. And then 45 minutes later, we come to our first fold. And this is the trickiest of all the folds. There's not a lot of structure to this bread dough. So right there, there's a little bit of that reserved extra virgin olive oil. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to gently picking up this dough. You can see it's almost like gloopy, but it does have just enough structure to where it does fall on itself. So once you've done this a couple times, feel free to pick it up. That's the cool thing about making bread, man. I enjoy it. I'm probably messing around with this dough a lot more than what needs to be done. If you look at a lot of other videos, they don't mess with their dough as much as I am, but it's enjoyable and I like it, and it brings me peace and happiness and tranquility, and I would recommend it. Make sure you get some of that dough right there, by the way. And why not? I think I'm gonna keep on messing with this dough. All right. So once you are done, kind of folding it onto each other, back in the plastic bag for, you guessed it, another 45 minutes. Then after the 45 minutes, we're going to do the second fold. This is where it starts to get a little bit more fun, because now the flours and gluten have started to develop. Once again, you want to kind of lubricate your fingers with some of that reserved oil. That way the bread doesn't stick to your fingers, because this is a very wet dough. So I like to go 2 in the front, 1 in the back, drop it, let it just kind of hang down, let those gluten strands develop a little bit more, and boom, there you go. Back in the bag for another 45 minutes. And we're going to repeat this for a third fold, front to the back, turn, just let it. And then 45 minutes later, we're going to do a fourth fold, and it's going to look very similar to all the other folds. Front, another front, back, turn, back, and voila, just like so. And then after this 45 minutes, we are ready to do the last fold and form these hamburger buns. So we're going to take it out, and look how well the dough is developed. The yeast has really started to attack. It's really kind of thick now. I love making bread. It's one of my favorite things to make. There it is. There's a lot of other bread makers that will roll out the dough and laminate it. With this recipe, because it is so airy, I don't think you need to do that. I've had perfect success not doing that. So let's keep it easy. So I'm going to divide this dough ball. This is a 600-gram dough ball into 4 equal parts. Well, as equal as I can get without using a scale. Don't use flour on this step. So right now I'm using the bench scraper, which you will need. And I'm letting the dough ball kind of roll itself onto the bench scraper while simultaneously rolling on the table. And what happens is it develops this unified skin, as you can kind of see. And then from there, we put it right on the pan. No oil, no flour, no nothing. Let's do a little close-up view so you can kind of see what I'm looking at. If you use flour, it becomes very difficult for the dough ball to roll on the table and then onto the bench scraper. So as I roll it, turn it, roll it, turn, roll and turn. And once you get the hang of this, it is very fun. Like I said, making bread is fun, guys. Um, once you start, it's very difficult to stop. So there's our third. Here's our fourth. And then from here, my beautiful wife Tina decided to give me a hand. We're going to lay a towel over this, depending on the ambient temperature of your home, 30 to 60 minutes. Let it proof a little bit. It's not going to show a whole lot. And then here, that's a spray bottle with water. I just like to spritz the top of that so it can get just a little longer oven spring as we bake for 475 for 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, you're going to remove these buns. Look how much they sprung up. These are the best buns for any hamburger. And we're going to bake for another 7 to 10 minutes on the rack. And that just helps kind of air them out and dry them out. There they are. Good looking buns. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is what we used for when we did our tikka masala burger, which we'll put a link down below. Thanks, guys. Like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.